Life throws moments at you where everything inside screams to speak up. You're hurt, disrespected, something feels deeply wrong, and staying quiet feels like weakness. But here's the truth most people learn the hard way. Speaking too fast usually makes things worse. Your words get twisted, the situation escalates, and later, you wish you had handled it differently. You already know this. Trying to explain yourself to someone who's decided to misunderstand you only drains your energy. Not every argument deserves your voice. Not everyone deserves your time. Silence isn't giving up. It's control. It's calm. It's self-respect. And sometimes, it's the smartest move you can make. Today, I'll show you 7 situations where staying quiet isn't weakness. It's power. The first situation. Someone who's deliberately trying to get under your skin. Some people don't to approach you because they want to understand where you're coming from. They show up specifically to mess with your peace. They poke at you, cut you off when you talking, make fun of you, or throw little insults dressed up as humor. The second you take the bait, they've gotten exactly what they wanted. Here's the thing about provocation. It's never really about the truth of anything. It's about power. It's about pulling you onto their playing field where they make all the rules. And you lose your calm the instant you engage. They lived through this before. Somebody pushes just the right button. And even when you know better than to respond, your feelings take over. You start defending yourself, your voice gets louder, or you say something sharp that you regret later. When everything settles down, you realize they were basically controlling how the whole thing went. Ancient thinkers who studied human behavior figured this out a long time ago. They taught that when someone tries to get a rise out of you, they actually showing their own lack of self-control, not pointing out any flaw in you. Your reaction is exactly the invitation they hoping for. Your silence is you refusing to open that door. When somebody tries to provoke you, they expecting certain things from you. Your anger, your need to explain, your emotional explosion, your attempt to clear up whatever they twisting. But when you stay silent, their whole plan falls apart. They can make things bigger because you want to participate. They can twist around what you said because you haven't given them anything to work with. They can feed off your emotions because they remove their fuel source. And here is what is really interesting. People who get their kicks from bothering others become noticeably uncomfortable when they don't get the response they fishing for. Their smug look disappears. Their confidence shrinks. Their perceived power just evaporates into nothing. They end up having to face themselves, and that consequence hits harder than any comeback you could have thrown at them. Silence in these moments isn't you being passive. It is a calculated choice. It sends a clear message. I'm not going to let you manipulate me. I'm choosing peace instead of pointless fights. You don't get access to my emotions. This type of silence isn't to weakness at all. It is you being in complete control. It is having enough discipline to refuse emotional combat. It is being wise enough to recognize that your energy is way too precious to waste on people who provoke you not because they strong, but because something about you makes them feel threatened. And here, it's another thing. The universe has a way of handling these situations. People who make a habit of provoking others eventually show their true colors to everyone. They damage their own reputation. They destroy their relationships. They lose the respect of anyone who sees how they behave. Their reputation carries the consequences that you never had to personally deliver. Your silence becomes like a mirror that shows everyone who they really are. So the next time someone tries to drag you into a conflict, takes a shot at you just to watch your reaction, or crosses your boundaries hoping they'll snap and lose control, here is what you do. Stop for a moment. Take a breath. Let that moment pass by without saying a word, and let the weight of what they've done fall right back on them. Not every attempt to provoke you deserves a response. Some are better off ignored so the universe can respond for you. The second situation. When trying to explain will only dig you deeper, there are conversations that actually bring understanding. And then there are conversations that are set up to drain every bit of energy from you. You can tell the difference right away. One type leaves you feeling heard and understood. The other leaves you completely exhausted, more misunderstood than before, and wondering why you even bothered to open your mouth in the first place. The second kind of conversation is exactly where staying quiet becomes your best protection. You probably run into someone like this. They don't actually want to understand where you're coming from. What they want is to win an argument with you. They were not really listening to what you say. They were just waiting for their chance to turn your words against you. They were not interested in the truth. They were interested in coming out on top. It doesn't matter how carefully you choose your words, how kindly you express what you meant, or how many times you go over the facts. The outcome never changes. More stress, more mixed messages, and more aggravation. Here is the trap people fall into, thinking that if you could just say it a different way, they'll finally understand your intentions. But the reality is that some people have no interest in understanding your intentions. What they want is to protect their pride, hang on to the version of events that works for them, because it makes them feel powerful or right or justifies their position. And the harder you try to clear things up, the further you sink into their emotional quicksand. Ancient philosophy teaches us something important here. It is not your job to convince someone who is already committed to getting you wrong. Trying to explain yourself over and over to the wrong person is like dumping water onto sand that wants to hold moisture. No matter how much you pour, nothing sticks. Think about those times when someone has already decided who you are. Maybe they accused you of having selfish motives, even though you were genuinely trying to be helpful. Maybe they labeled you as self-centered when all you did was stand up for yourself. Maybe they claimed you to become a different person when really you just stopped tolerating bad treatment. You explained and explained and explained some more, but nothing changed. Why is that? Because they weren't actually searching for understanding. They were searching for proof that their version of the story was correct. This is exactly when silence stops being just smart and becomes absolutely necessary. When you quit trying to explain, you remove the fuel that keeps pointless conflict burning. You stop giving them ammunition to twist around. You stop handing over access to your emotional world. Instead, you let how you behave, how consistent you are, and who you are as a person do the talking for you in a way that is louder and more honest than any explanation could ever be. And here, it's the beautiful part about letting the universe handle it. People who consistently refuse to understand others eventually show their true nature. Their patterns become clear as day. Other people start seeing the same distortions they create. Their connections with others fall apart under the pressure of their own actions. Meanwhile, you stay steady, peaceful, and safe from all that chaos. Your silence communicates something powerful. I don't need you to approve of me for my truth to be valid. My peace of mind is worth more than winning this argument. I know who I am. You misunderstanding me doesn't change that reality one bit. When someone is set on misunderstanding you, talking just creates more noise. Silence creates clarity. It is the moment you take back your self-respect and walk away from the emotional chaos they were trying to drag you into. So the next time you can sense that trying to explain will only create more problems, just don't do it. Take a step back. Stay still. Let the truth reveal itself naturally. Let their wrong assumptions fall apart on their own. Let the universe do the teaching that you no longer have to do. The third situation. When someone disrespects you in front of other people, getting disrespected in public lands differently than private insults. It's cutting. It happens right now, and it embarrasses you in a way that private put-downs never quite match. Someone cuts you off while you speaking in front of a group, makes fun of you during a conversation with others, throws out a sarcastic comment at your expense, or questions how smart you are just to get people to laugh. In those moments, everything in you wants to defend yourself right there. Fire something back, put them in their place on the spot. But responding on impulse in front of people rarely gets your dignity back. Usually, it chips away at it even more. Because the second you respond from emotion instead of thinking it through, this attention moves away from how they disrespected you and lands on how you reacting. All of a sudden, the story becomes about you overreacting or people saying you need to relax because it was just a joke. You go from being the one who was wrong to being the show in a matter of seconds. This is exactly why silence, when you use it on purpose, becomes such a strong response. When someone disrespects you publicly, they counting on you to fall apart, snap back at them, or shrink down in embarrassment. They expect you to match their low behavior with more low behavior. They want to feel like they were better than you. They want to own the room. But when you stay silent, keep your cool, stay composed, completely unbothered, the whole situation flips. Silence stops the moment in its tracks. It makes everyone there sit with the heaviness of what just happened or what was just said. It pulls attention away from how you might react and puts it squarely on what they did. People start actually noticing the disrespect that the person hoped would just get lost in the background noise. Without saying one single word, you turn the spotlight back on them, and now it's their character that is being judged, not yours. This isn't you being passive. It is strategic. It is you being in control. And it is deeply rooted in ancient wisdom about self-control. An old philosopher once wrote that the best response to shameful behavior is carrying yourself with dignity, not getting into an argument, not throwing an insult back. Dignity, because your silence says what words often fail to communicate. Better than this. I'm not going to play the game you were trying to start. You've shown who you are without any help from me. Public disrespect often turns out to be karma working in disguise. The second someone tries to make you look small in front of others, they accidentally reveal their own insecurity. People who are truly confident, Don, you need to embarrass other people who are emotionally grown, Don, to go looking for attention by being cruel to others. Truly strong individuals don't tear people down, they build them up. So when you choose silence as your response, you're not handing them a victory. You're giving them rope to show everyone exactly who they are. Think about just how powerful this is. Someone throws an insult at you in front of a group of people, and you just pause for a moment. You look straight at them with peaceful eyes and don't say anything at all. The whole room picks up on it. People take notice. The person who tried to attack you feels your lack of reaction, like they've been slapped in the face. Their whole attempt to embarrass you crumbles and falls apart because of how petty and small it was. Down the road, you'll discover that the people who witnessed it remember how gracefully you handled it way more than they remember the actual insult. Your silence makes an impact that talking never could have made. It demonstrates self-control, inner strength, emotional growth, and deep respect for yourself. And the universe takes care of what is left. People who make a habit of disrespecting others in public settings eventually destroy their own credibility. They chip away at their reputation one nasty comment at a time. Others stop believing in them, stop bringing them into conversations, stop allowing them access to meaningful spaces and opportunities. Your silence marks the turning point, the moment when their real character becomes impossible for anyone to deny. So when someone attempts to make you look bad in front of other people, don't jump to defend yourself right away. Hold your head high, keep your composure, let the silence ring out louder than anything they said, and let the universe work with the microphone they tried to steal from you. The fourth situation. When someone twists around what you said, there are few things that drain your mental energy quite like dealing with someone who doesn't listen to truly understand you, but instead listens just so they can distort what you re-saying. You say something straightforward, clear as day, and completely honest. But just a few minutes later, it gets twisted into something you absolutely never meant. They reshape what you were trying to say, blow your tone way out of proportion, or stick motives on you that you never had. And before you know it, you stuck defending things you never even said in the first place. It's one of the most maddening experiences you can have with another person, not just being misheard, but having your words intentionally twisted and reinterpreted. At first, you might try to fix the misunderstanding. You make your meaning clearer. You slow down and choose your words more carefully. You might even say sorry for things you didn't to actually do, all while hoping that if you stay calm enough, gentle enough, and patient enough, they'll finally actually hear you. But here is the truth. People who twist your words around errand, missing clarity. They missing honesty. They not confused about what you meant. They being defensive. They want the accurate version of what you said. They want some kind of upper hand. Every time you try to explain, you're just giving them more material to bend out of shape. Every time you clarify something, you handing them another angle they can use to manipulate the situation. Every sentence you speak becomes another thread they weave into their false story, and the more you keep explaining, the deeper you get stuck in the trap they set. This is exactly why staying silent in these situations becomes a way to free yourself. When someone is twisting your words, they're trying to pull you into a mental puzzle where they're the only ones who know the way out. But the instant you stop playing along, when you stop justifying yourself, stop trying to correct them, stop attempting to repair their so-called misunderstanding, you completely take away their power. Silence cuts off their supply of raw material that they need to keep warping your message. Ancient wisdom teaches us that you shouldn't give away your peace to someone whose mind is already fighting a war. Some people aren't looking for clarity. They looking to start a fight. Some aren't searching for truth. They researching for control over you. Some don't want real understanding. They want the satisfaction of watching you question yourself. In these moments, silence isn't running away from the problem. It's protecting yourself. It is making the choice not to wrestle around in the dirt with someone who actually enjoys being there. Think back to those times when you walked away from a conversation and noticed you felt completely drained, confused, maybe even guilty, and you couldn't figure out why. That is the price you pay for engaging with someone who distorts everything. They make you second-guess your tone, question your intentions, doubt your own memory of what happened. They rewrite what really occurred so smoothly that eventually you start wondering if maybe you were actually the one in the wrong. Silence stops that whole cycle dead in its tracks. It sends a clear message. I can see the game you rerunning here. I'm not going to defend myself against things that aren't true. My energy isn't available for you to distort. And here is the part that the universe never overlooks. People who make a habit of twisting other people. These words always end up twisting their own lives into knots too. Their relationships fall apart. Their credibility slowly disappears. Their stories start contradicting each other. The manipulation they use eventually catches up to them because nobody can keep lies going forever. The truth has its own schedule. It always shows up eventually. Your silence actually helps speed up the arrival of that truth. When you stop feeding into the distortion, the manipulator has to rely only on their own behavior, and that behavior eventually shows everyone who they really are. And you walk away with a clear conscience, a clear mind, stronger than before, completely untouched by the chaos they were hoping to pull you into. So the next time someone twists your words around, done to get into an argument, done to defend every little thing, done to try to correct every single sentence. Take a step back, stay quiet, let their fake story collapse under the weight of how dishonest it is. Let the universe handle the mess they created for themselves. The fifth situation, when people are spreading rumors or lies about you, they're errant, do many things that hurt quite as much as finding out someone who's been talking about you when you were not there, spreading stories that are only partly true, blowing things way out of proportion, or making up complete lies. It feels completely unfair, like a violation, and it makes you furious. The first thing you usually want to do is confront whoever started it, collect proof to show they were wrong, stand up for your reputation, or try to set the record straight before the story spreads any further. You want everyone to know the real you, not some warped version that somebody else made up out of thin air. But here is the thing about rumors. They don't come from a place of truth. They come from a place of insecurity, from people who are bored, from jealousy, or from built-up resentment. And the second you respond with emotion, you actually breathe life into the rumor. You make it seem valid by treating it like something that deserves to be chased down. The more you try to explain your side, the more dramatic the whole story gets. The more you defend yourself, the more people start thinking there must be something real that needs defending. This is exactly why silence isn't just powerful in this situation. It is actually necessary. A rumor stays alive through one thing only: attention. When you refuse to get involved, refuse to clarify every detail, refuse to strike back, the rumor runs out of air. It has nothing to hold on to anymore. It either fades away, dies out completely, or comes back around to bite the person who started it in the first place. Because staying silent is not the same thing as being weak. Staying silent is refusing to fight with something that isn't even real. Ancient wisdom teaches you to put your focus on what is actually in your control: your character, how you behave, your integrity. You can control what people decide to say about you when you were not in the room. You can control what others will believe without any real evidence. And you can control the deep insecurities of people who would rather whisper behind backs than actually do anything meaningful. But you absolutely can control how you conduct yourself while all this is happening around you. Your reputation doesn't get built in the dark corners where rumors get passed around. It gets built in broad daylight through the way you actually live your life. As time goes on, people learn to trust patterns of behavior, not gossip. They watch for consistency, not accusations. They pay attention to what you actually do, not someone else. There's bitterness and resentment. And the truth, as quiet as it might be, always outlasts the noise eventually. When there is a rumor going around about you, choosing to stay silent sends an important message. I am not going to give lies my attention and energy. My character is stronger than whatever story you read trying to tell. I trust that time will show everyone the truth, and it always does, because rumors are like shadows. They look big and distorted when you read far away from them, but they mean absolutely nothing once actual light shines on them. People who make a habit of spreading lies eventually reveal themselves for who they are. Their real motives become clear to everyone. Their stories start falling apart and contradicting each other. Their audience either loses interest or starts getting suspicious. They wreck their own credibility without you needing to say even one word. Your silence turns into the witness. Your dignity becomes the proof. Your consistency becomes the correction to their lies. There is also a deeper level of how the universe works at play here. When someone spreads lies about you, they replanting seeds in their own life, not in yours. Seeds of mistrust, seeds of insecurity, seeds of dishonesty. And those seeds always grow back in the direction of the person who planted them. You don't. They have to chase them down. You don't. They have to publicly expose them. You don't. They have to prove a single thing. Their own actions are already doing all of that for you. So when rumors start popping up, don't panic about it. Don't go running after every whisper you hear. Don't wear yourself out trying to correct people who didn't care about the truth to begin with. Instead, stand your ground. Stay centered in who you are. Let silence become the rope that their own gossip eventually gets tangled up in. Your truth carries more weight than any rumor ever could, and the universe is far better at delivering justice than your anger could ever be. The sixth situation. When someone walks away or leaves your life, there is a special kind of hurt that shows up when someone exits your life. Not through a conversation, not with any kind of closure, but through creating distance, going silent, or making a sudden change that you never saw coming. A friend stops reaching out. A partner loses the feelings they used to have. A family member starts pulling away. Someone who used to value you suddenly acts like you were never important to them at all. And you stuck trying to figure out what changed, what you might have done wrong, or which part of yourself just wasn't good enough. Your natural reaction in these moments is usually to go after some kind of clarity. You want real answers. You want them to explain what happened. You want to repair whatever feels broken. You want to hang on to that connection, even when you can feel it slipping through your fingers. But chasing after someone who has already walked away from you is one of the most emotionally exhausting things a person can put themselves through. Because when someone leaves, their absence is actually their message. Their distance is the decision they already made. And this is where silence transforms from just being a response into being self-respect. Ancient philosophy teaches us that not everything is meant to belong to us. Not everyone is meant to stay in our lives forever, and not every ending means we failed at something. What really hurts ISN, the actual departure itself, it is being attached to how things should have turned out. You play out conversations in your head that never actually happened. You imagine different endings that never came. You hold on to versions of them that never truly existed in the first place. But when someone makes the choice to leave, they've shown you something important. Their part in your life. A story has come to an end, even if you weren't prepared for it to be over. Going after them, one, to start a new chapter. Trying to explain yourself, one, to change how the story went. And asking them for closure, one, to bring you any real peace. All that does is give them even more control over your emotions. Silence, though, brings you back to your center. It is saying, I'm choosing to value myself even when other people don't. My self-worth doesn't depend on who decides to stick around. I'm letting go of what doesn't fit with who I am anymore. When you choose to stay silent, you create room for the real truth to come to the surface. You let their true intentions become obvious. You give your heart the chance to calm down. And most importantly, you let the universe run its natural course. Because here is what is real. People who walk away often figure out down the line what they gave up. They come to understand how loyal you were, how rare your patience was, how warm your presence felt, how solid your character is. But by that point, everything has changed. They moved forward. They healed in that silence. They rebuilt your sense of dignity. They picked peace over chasing after them. And the universe doesn't hurry. But it doesn't forget either. People who leave without giving any explanation often come back around when they finally realize how badly they misjudged you. People who assumed you to always be there waiting learn what it actually feels like when you re-gone. People who thought they could just walk in and out of your life whenever they felt like it find out that the door doesn't stay open forever. Your silence teaches them something they never could have learned through arguments, that your heart has real value, that your presence isn't something they can take for granted, and that losing you actually comes with real consequences. So when someone starts pulling away from you, dawn to chase after them. When someone walks out that door, dawn to go running behind them. When someone chooses to put distance between you, give them every bit of space they asking for. Stand where you are, stay quiet, let life, let time, and let the universe show what words never could. Some people leaving is actually protection for you. Some endings are really new beginnings. Some losses are actually guidance wearing a disguise, and the peace you guard today turns into the strength you'll carry with you tomorrow. The seventh situation. When the urge for revenge feels strong, there are times when the pull toward getting revenge feels almost impossible to resist. When someone has betrayed your trust, told you lies, shown you major disrespect, or hurt you so badly that part of you wants them to experience that same pain. You picture yourself exposing what they did, publicly calling them out, proving they were wrong, or somehow making them wish they never messed with you. It is a completely human response. It comes up from wounded pride, from trust that got shattered, and from wanting justice to be served. But here, it's the truth you already understand deep down. Revenge never delivers the peace it seems to promise. All it does is keep you connected to the person who caused you pain. It makes you carry around their energy, their actions, their darkness. It turns you into a reflection of how they behaved. And long after that moment of getting back at them has come and gone, the bitterness hangs around, the guilt doesn't leave, and the wound stays wide open. Ancient wisdom teaches us something powerful. The best form of revenge is refusing to become like the person who did you wrong. That means not dragging your character down to their level, not stepping into the chaos they created, not letting their behavior reshape who you are. Because the moment you go for revenge, you're letting them win twice over. Once when they initially hurt you, and then again when they made you throw away your own values. Silence, in these moments, is where your real strength lives. Silence is picking your future over your rage. Silence is refusing to let somebody else control how you act. Silence is trusting that life has its own way of evening out what people think they got away with. When someone does you harm, walking away without hitting back sends a message that is way louder than any shouting could ever be. It says, you don't get access to my thoughts, my feelings, or my life anymore. Going for revenge tells them you're still wrapped up in it all. Silence tells them you're completely finished. And here is what always happens eventually. Little by little, people who do wrong end up running into the results of their own decisions. Not because you set it up to happen, but because patterns always catch up with people. Character always catches up. Life itself always catches up. People who manipulate others will eventually manipulate the wrong person. People who lie will eventually get caught in their own contradictions. People who betray will eventually lose everyone's trust around them. Your silence creates the space where their karma can grow and develop. You don't need to expose what they did. You don't need to match how cruel they were. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. What they did will come back around to them, just like what you chose will come back to you. Your self-control, your dignity, your discipline, all of it will echo back into your life. Think about the times in your own life when walking away brought you more peace than any fight ever could have. Think about those moments when someone expected you to create drama and all they got from you was calm distance. Think about the people who hurt you in the past, who later faced their own collapse without you having to do a single thing. That is how life works. That is the nature of truth. That is the universe stepping in right where your anger is trying to take action. So when the temptation for revenge pulls at you, take a breath. Rise above it. Let your silence make the statement, and let your self-respect be your answer. You don't heal yourself by hurting someone back. You heal by releasing what was never yours to hold on to in the first place. You don't grow by striking back. You grow by walking away with more strength than you had before. And the real justice you need, it shows up in its own perfect timing, delivered by forces far more accurate than yours could ever be. In the end, it all comes down to this. Silence is not weakness. It's power. It protects your energy, your dignity, and your peace. Not every provocation deserves a response. Not every misunderstanding needs correcting. Some battles end the moment you choose not to fight them. Try this just once this week. Say less, step back, watch what happens. You'll feel lighter, clearer, more in control. If this message stayed with you, let it guide your next decision. I'll see you in the next video.